Hello everyone, welcome to another video here on Motorcycling Endeavors. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to do something unique, and I'm going to show you how to replace a speaker in your car door. Now this video is going to be longer than I would normally like, but it's meant to be instructional and informational at the same time. The good news is this is not a very technical job. There are many people that can do this without any issues. I know it can be a little intimidating because all the electronics are in the door and you got the buttons and switches, and you may be a little concerned about that. Don't worry about it. It's really not that complicated, and replacing the speakers in your door can be one of the most inexpensive upgrades you do to your vehicle that can bring you a greater amount of joy as you listen to your music, podcasts, sports talk radio, or even an audiobook. And it really doesn't have to be all that expensive to begin with. Okay, some of the things that you're going to need is you're going to need these panel removers right here. You can pick these up cheap from Amazon. I happen to, when I purchased my speakers from Crutchfield, I actually purchased these along with the speakers. You're going to need a socket set, screwdrivers, and I just have some kill mat left over. This is optional. I'm just going to add this around the speaker area to kind of deaden it a little bit, but that's optional. You don't need that. You don't need this. This is optional, but when you have the panels off, and you can put a little kill mat or on there. There's stuff called Dynamat. There's Amazon has their own brand, but fire department. Oh, wait a second. Wow. So, like I said, this is optional. I just happen to have some left. I'm just going to put in right around the speaker area to deaden it a little bit area so that there's not a lot of reverberation there. So these are some of the tools you'll need. So to cut this, like I said, you're going to need screwdrivers, some sockets. Now they're going to be very different for your vehicle. If you happen to have a 2017 Ford Edge SEL, like I have, then this is the perfect video for you, because that's what we're working on here. So some of the also things you're going to need is that you're going to need, obviously, your speaker. So this is the replacement speaker right here. Sorry, I chose the Kenwood KFC 1666S. 3 reasons why I went with that speaker. Number 1, the reviews on Crutchfield were very good. Number 2, they were compatible with my vehicle, and they weren't overly expensive. They're $25 speakers, so they're $50 per pair. And 3, they're able to be driven off my stock stereo system. So I did not want to replace a stereo system or put in an amplifier. And I do apologize for the messiness of my vehicle. I got to get it cleaned. One of the things I'll do after I do this. So obviously you're going to need your speakers. You're going to need unless you're using the mount that came with it. This is the mounting bracket for your new speaker. What I love about this whole thing is that I don't have to splice wires, cut wires, or anything, because this nice little mounting harness here, this Metra easy harness, no cutting speakers. Basically the speaker connection from the car goes right into here, and you plug these right on the back of here, so you don't have to cut anything. So if you're replacing your speakers and you get yourself in the hands of these, you'll want to get one of these. If not, you're going to have to get some. You have to cut some wires and do a little splicing. And the speakers that Kenwood does provide you with some connection wires here, but you don't need them if you have the wiring harness. Okay. So I think that covers everything. The reason why I have the drill here is because the only thing, because these are Metras, these are the where the speaker goes, the plates. The one thing they didn't do was put a hole right where the harness wires have to go. So regardless of whether you have to splice wires or not, there's nowhere to go. So basically I just use the drill to punch a hole so I can just slide these through. This goes on. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So without further ado, let's get started. So removing the door panel for your vehicle is a very simple process. It's not that complicated, so don't be intimidated by it. So depending on your make and model or generation, because certainly Ford Edges of different generations, your screw placement and bolt placements are going to be different. But the fact of the matter is, the whole concept is the same. So for me, for the 2017 Ford Edge, there's a 10 millimeter bolt here, there's a 10 millimeter bolt here, and there are two small 7 millimeter screws that are right down underneath here. So I doubt I'll be able to get down that far to show you, but these top ones here are going to be easy enough. So what you're going to do is that you take your tool and you go ahead and you just gently, it's just gently even pressure. That's all it is. I mean, you'll slip, there's going to be popping and snapping, but don't worry about it. See, look at that, slides right out. Just very, very simple and easy. I just set that down here. This one right here can be, is just easy too. Just gently do it. So they say come up in the front, and I just start popping up the front, just like that. Just nice and gently. Don't need to do much, nice and gently. There's going to be snapping, there's going to be popping. Don't worry about it. Just go nice and gentle. And now one thing you want to do is what I've discovered that worked well is I take this thing right here, and so now I use my wedge and I'll loosen the backside, and then I'll start slowly reworking this. Like I said, they're retainer clips. There's going to be snapping and popping as they come out. Don't be overly alarmed. Front ones are a little bit more of a challenge. We're actually going to put this here so I can use the width of this here. Of course, the door I show you on is going to make a mockery of everything that I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, with a little persuasion, it'll eventually come out, and then you'll see all those. See here, we got your retainer clips here. Now what you want to do is, you see, this is not all that complicated, and these clips pull right out, just like that. Just pull right out and just leave it there. Now you just take this and just set this aside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the two 7 millimeter bolts that are on the bottom. And these sometimes, these are just almost practically finger tight in there. I didn't even have to use, and you just unloosen these, pull these out. There's one, there's two. Like I said, there are, where your placement of your bolts are going to be different. So I do apologize, like I said, for the messiness of the vehicle and the quality of this video. Like I said, I hope I had the GoPro angle enough so you could see everything. Then I throw those in there. And then I take my 10 millimeter bolts and I just go in and I nab these things. My dog's water bowl. I take it from outside, I take it in, get it cleaned off. Then you just take this one off right here. Once the bolt's out, now your door is officially unbolted. So now, the one thing I do notice with this vehicle, I cannot get out the door handle lever. I have pushed and pulled on that little lever to try to get it off. I couldn't do it. So I just leave the door handle lever connected, and I just rest the corner on the step stool, so therefore there's no pressure on the corner. So what you do is you take your panel removal tools now, and you just gently go around and you start moving the door. I like to use this one right here, so hopefully you could see this. And you just kind of, there's going to be popping. You just gently loosen, go around the bottom, because eventually the retainer clips are going to start popping. Yep. There we go, right there. Just be gentle. Gentle, easy pressure. Of course, this is going to be the toughest door. I'm going to switch and then I use this one right here, which has got a little. This one's going to be a little bit of a doozy. Oh. One thing that I forgot to do, as I'll show you, is just remove this little piece right here. Like I said, these are just retainer clips, they pop off. Now, like I said, this is the door that's going to give me the most problems, because I'm filming it. But, you know, it's part of life. There we go. Goodness gracious. Ugh. Goodness Lord. Ugh. I see that. I see that. Goodness gracious. Holy moly. You can see the retainer. There we go. Good God Almighty. It's typical that the other 3 doors weren't this complicated to get off. This is criminy. It's not like I didn't. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. This is fantastic, the video I'm showing you on. And I know everything's disconnected. That side's done. This side needs a little crystal blue persuasion here. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right, well, it's good that I show you how tough it is. That some of the things that you can go through, it could be a little bit of a pain in the butt, so that may be helpful to you. So now you don't want to go yanking the door off. So what you want to do is you lift up on the door, and hopefully the angle is right, you can see this. So you have 2 little connections here where this little small front speaker is. You have the main door connection over here, and then you'll have this. I have tried to get these things out. I have never done it. So what I do is I just use my step stool, because I don't like things tangling off. And I just set the door up just like that. So therefore, there's no pressure on this cable here. And there you have it, people. That's it was a little more of a struggle getting it off, but it really isn't that bad. So, but right there, there's all your speakers. There's your speaker in its original housing, stock housing. Very, Just not that complicated. Like I said, the other 3 doors I just pop, they came off, everything was great. Of course, the one that I demonstrate's going to be difficult, but then again, if you see some of the difficult that I have and you run into difficult, you'll know what'll happen. So these are 7mm bolts, and these should be finger tight. Oh, tip, get something to kneel on. Just take your knees. So we're going to take this off. Oh, first take the clip out of here. Oh, tip, make sure your windows are down. Wind down your windows when you do this. So we're going to undo screws, and I'll keep these screws separate because they look like, almost look like the ones that were from the bottom. Probably the same kind, but I keep them separate. All right, there we go, just like that. Now your speaker is pretty much loose. Now there are 2 really cheap ass retainer clips in here. Now if you plan on using the housing, good luck. Reusing the housing, which is possible, but sometimes these things are just so goddamn cheap that the backsides just pop out. It's just, this one stayed, but it's just so cheap, and the whole speaker's cheap. I mean, look at this. It's like cardboard. It's what you expect from a non-premium sound system in a car. It's just not a great speaker. So there it is. Now, one thing I'm going to do is, while I have the door panel off, like I said, I'm going to apply some kill mat. So I'm going to take this highly sophisticated cotton cloth, old t-shirt, drench it in alcohol, just like that, and just wipe down everything. Let's go in and work on the bracket. Now, I'm going to put the bracket on next, and then I'll apply the kill mat. So one of the things that you want to do, as I mentioned, is that there's no hole. So you want to make sure you know this lines up correctly. I know from the previous 4 doors, everything is correct. So I know that this is going to line up just like this. So I know I'm going to need to put my hole right here. So therefore I can slide the 2 end pieces down. So essentially, I'll carefully set my speaker aside, and I got my handy drill, and I'm going to put it right there. That's where I put all the other ones. So I open up my drill. I start out with this one right here. A little crooked there. All right, so here we go. This is good. This will be quick. So basically, this is good enough. You don't have to overdo it. Yeah, it's going the wrong way. Yeah. All right, so there's a pro tip. Hole drilled, but I know it's not big enough. Take this out. Then I put this mamma jamma in here. Tighten that down. Here we go. And all I do is I come from the front, just like this, and it's just very easy. Just like that. There you go. See? Now that may not be big enough just yet. Now there are safer ways of doing this. Good. Fit. So that's that. All set. That's all you need. So I'm going to come over here now. Oh, get my old ass down here and put these on. And if you get the right brackets, So like I said, I went to Crutchfield to purchase my speakers, and it was a great experience because I was able to, they recommended these brackets and the wiring harnesses, and so now everything is nice and easy. So I just finger tighten these up like this. There, now it's installed just like that. And all I do is I just give a, oops, just like that, just a teeny bit, just a teeny bit, just like that. Installed. Hey, you want to know what's awesome? This is the connection that comes in your car. This is a wiring harness. There you go. No splicing or electrical taping or cutting of wires. There. Thank you, Jesus. Criminy. Man. All right. Well, of course, the door that. Well, this is good because then you can just learn things of how to do it better than I just did it. Even though I just did the first 3 doors absolutely flawlessly. So it's always when you're on stage, everything always goes weird. So now that's all set. So basically, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply a little kill mat. So, like I said, this is optional, but I will apply a few pieces, and then I'll probably, this is where I can make up some time in the video. Okay, so now that I have my kill mat installed, it's just time to go in, put on the speakers, and button her up. So, here we go. So, I just take a seat here. And just position myself in a way to do this. Now, these are the screws that you need, so you might want to get these out. And one of the things that you can do is, what I recommend is, first take off your gloves because you don't need them anymore because you installed the kill mat. So as you go ahead and you just pre-thread these a little bit so they're in there. This also prevents your screws from rolling around all over the place too. Okay, just like that. Okay, now this is the most technical part of the job. So let's see how technical it is. This slides on here, and you're going to want to put a little pressure behind there because this is not easy. And you're going to have to be a little firm with it. There's one. Get ready. There's 2. There you go. That's the most technical part here. Now, this is the most interesting part. Now, for these, installing these particular Kenwoods, what you're going to have to do is that this fits into here like this. So you're going to put the screw in like this. This little ledge here will fit up in there, just like that. And you're going to want to screw it in just a little bit so that it catches. Damn it. There we go. There you go. Now it's straight. Because what's going to happen is that, you see how that fell into that little notch there? That's what it's going to be like for all of them. So now you do the one on the bottom. And it doesn't matter which order you go. And you don't want to tighten too much. And the reason is, god damn it, it's off. It's off. There we go. Okay. It's good that this video is showing some hardships because the other ones were so easy that, you know, I'd be a little concerned that It's kind of a little false advertising, so I'm glad this driver's side door is being a little bit of a pain in the butt, so I can show you so that you can see some of the WTFs you can run into. And then this will slide into here. So now you're gonna have to have some play. So if you're able to put this, try to put this at the very end here and slide this. Come on, get there, got it. That's a miracle. Usually it takes a little bit of persuasion. You usually have to do a bunch of this thing, but so all you do now is you just tighten, and this will slide this way, and then I tighten in a crisscross pattern just like this, and you don't need much, just in general tighten down. You see these little levers, just kind of just hold them, goes in those little slots there on the sides, and then so all you want to do is, now you see how these, you have those little notches there. These little things slide up in those notches when they get tightened. And you don't need a lot of pressure. You just need just enough to create a small pinch. Small pinch. Small pinch. Small pinch. There you go. There's your speaker. It's installed. Put a little sound deadening. See how solid that's, it sounds solid. It's not ringing anymore. That's what the kill mat does. That's why I put kill mat there. It's just, it sounds nice and solid now, not all ringy and hollow. All right, so now let me get up. Now we want to make sure everything works. So first item of business is that what you want to do is you want to connect all the pieces of the door again, so without buckling it in. So now these small pieces, so these two, they're different sizes, so you can't screw them up putting them back up. So your car may or may have these, but the 2017 Ford Edge does. Here we go. Let's see. That's the door. This, my friends, goes right in here. Okay. There we go. Now one thing I've noticed is that you have to plug this into the door. So like, you can't leave it out for the test of speakers. You got to actually plug this into the door. I don't know why, but let's test it out, kids. Oops. All right, so. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick. So now, a crazy amount of hair. On the Ford Edge, look at all that. And I go to audio. And the best part, sweepers. All right, and I go to settings. Go to sound. I go to balance and fade. Not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper pet kit. Because shed happens. There it is. Just this 30-minute bike boot camp. I guess it's that kind of day. Are you ready for a total body workout? There it is. It's working. So now the only speaker that's on is the one I connected. So now if I reset. Instructors right in your home. Are you feeling it yet? Balanced. That's all speakers. Motivation that's ready when you are. Clip off that bike and meet me on the mat for lunges. I got this. I have to say I like it. Remember, sound is subjective. So what sounds good to you may not sound good to me. I'm not an audiophile. I didn't expect these to sound like I said, my Bear Dynamic DT77 Pros hooked up to an IFI hip DAC. That's just not going to happen. It's just not kind of speaker set. Nor do I have the amp to drive speakers of better premium quality speakers. So now it's a matter of doing a little cleaning up and buttoning up the door. Yes, feel free to ask me questions. In the comments. I will be more than happy to answer them. So now, buttoning this door back up, very easy. So now you're going to want to re-disconnect this again, pull this back out, okay? So first of all, make sure your car is powered back off again. So now, this is easy. right? So your door, so now you're just gonna put your door, so everything's connected. So everything's connected here. You're good to go. Now what you want to do is, so you want to make sure there's no wires dangling. There's none. Those extra speaker wires are just not in there. So I lift up the door, put the door back on its tracks, back in, pull this up through, and snap the door into place. Look at that. That's just I got a little piece of kill mat hanging over. That's not the end of the world. Look at that. That's it. That's it. That's it. Just like that. Now I'm going to utilize my step stool here, and I keep bumping my. And I have, you know, remember these little 7mm thingies here. Remember, I took away my something for my knees. So. Save your knees, get pads, use a towel, fold them up, but trust me, your knees will thank you. Kneeling on concrete isn't fun. So now all you do is you put these screws back in here. Like I said, finger tight is good. That's all you need. And then this side too. Oh, this one's a little tough. This one's a little stubborn. There we go. I'm going to give it a little snug here. There you go. Now you install the bolts. Just like so. Oh. Luckily, there's an insulation sleeve there. Woo, man, that would have pissed me off if I had to take the door back off again just to do that, man. All right, so now we just tighten it up. Don't have to be too tight, just tight enough. There you go, there's that. Here's the top part right here. Take this off. I really hope this video comes out. It's valuable. There you go. That's it. Now, this piece, retainer clips. It's right down in here. See? Look at that. Just like that. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. The door. Plug your piece back in. And this. There you go. Done. This part, very easy too. This slides, you got these two little grooves right here. 1, 2. There you go. Put those in like little grooves like that, little press, done. People, you just saw how easy it was with some interesting oh god, I'm lost for words right now. With some interesting strugglings that I did not have on the other 4 doors, but at least you were able to get to see it. Everything, how good it can be, how bad it can be, but it's really not bad. It's a very simple process.